what no kings really means and why it is more dangerous than you think it is. So when you guys turn on the news and you see these no kings protests, people are really angry on the streets, they're just getting all riled up. It's easy to get sucked into that, no matter what side you're on. And it's my job to elevate you above that tribal sort of thinking and get you to see this from a red pill perspective and get you to see what's really going on. Because at the end of the day, I'm a realist. I don't let myself get caught up in these petty squabbles and pull me out of my own frame, out of my own reality. Instead, I stay grounded and I look at this thing from a red pill lens and I ask myself, what's really going on here? And I'm going to share that with you in tonight's coaching video. And it's very important that you understand in the real world, especially here in the United States, before I even say anything, we don't have kings, okay? Because if we had a king, there's no way the king would allow these people to protest in the streets like this, create a mock blow-up doll of him, mock him, curse him, yell obscenities about him in the streets. No way. I mean, the king would basically go round those people up and bring them off to the gulag. In the real world, if we did have a king, those protests would not be happening. And at the end of the day, Christ is king. Let's break into this. What is really going on here when you see these people in the streets chanting, no kings, no kings? You see those signs, you hear those chants. What if I told you this isn't just a protest slogan? It's a weapon. And it's a message aimed at the very core of masculine leadership. And in this video, I'm going to break down what no kings really means, again, from a red pill perspective, and why it's far more dangerous than most men realize. Now, like I said, before we even start, I want you to get beyond that tribal thinking of left versus right, that paradigm, that toxic paradigm, and just see things for how they are. Not for how you want them to be or how you wish they would be, but just see things for how they are. Because not only am I a realist, but I would like you to become a realist as well. And at face value, this whole no kings chant, it sounds like it's about rejecting tyrants. It's about rejecting dictators, authoritarians. But that's really not what this movement is actually targeting, is it? They're not rejecting bad men. They're rejecting male authority. Plain and simple. Okay, plain and simple. It's so clear. It's so easy to see. When you talk to most people, that's not what they tell you. That's not what they see. Because again, their emotions are blinding them from the truth. Okay, because the word king, it doesn't mean oppression at the end of the day. It really just symbolizes masculine leadership, order, protection, legacy. And that is what these people are trying to erase when it comes down to it. Whenever I see these protests going on in the street, it's always the same type of people out there. You notice that no matter what the protest is about, it's always the same group with the purple hair, the nose rings, the rainbow flag. It's really just a feminist rebrand at the end of the day. Okay, no kings is just more feminism in disguise. Okay, feminism, they will claim, is about equality, but let's be honest here, it's about control. And these protests are just a Trojan horse to shame what? Male dominance, male leadership, and traditional masculine roles. So when you hear a woman say no kings, she's not saying no abusers. She's saying no man will lead me, period. And the key takeaway here is they don't want equality. They want power without responsibility. They want you, and they want you on your knees to give it to them. So let's talk about what these people are really afraid of. Okay, are they really afraid that Trump is going to become this dictator and he's going to stay in office for and he's never going to leave? Of course not. But let's be honest here. He was president once before and he left. Okay. Obviously there was that big, thing that they call the insurrection that happened, but he did end up leaving office. This entire movement really it's rooted in fear, but it's rooted in the fear of strong, independent, and emotionally unshakable men. And this is a kind of masculine energy that terrifies most of the women at that protest, which, let's be honest, are broken women. And those aren't a bunch of married women out there, happily married women out there protesting, no kings. Those are a bunch of broken women. Those are a bunch of women that have no man, no family. They're just not happy. That's why they show up to these things. And like I said, they all wear the same uniforms, right? Whether it's the excessive piercings, the multicolored hair, the sleeve tats. It's like they just wear their trauma on the outside. And these are women that were raised by weak or absentee fathers. So now they hate all male authority. That is why they go out there and they protest anything that resembles male authority. You have to see this for what it is. It's just projection disguised as activism. That's the best way to put it. They reject kings because they can't attract one. You know, no kings is easier to chant than I'm not queen material. It's really just public temper tantrums dressed up as principles, ideology. And the funny thing is, the masculinity crisis that we have today is one that they helped create, that they are really railing against. You know, these women contribute to the very chaos that they complain about, because no kings, what does that mean? In essence, it means no fathers, no structure, no accountability. The masculine vacuum gets filled by predators or policies or climate change or whatever else ideologies that they carry with them. And real women know the difference. Feminine energy knows that we need structure. Okay, I'm talking about women that you will never find at these protests. Women that, you know, are at home raising families. Women that are trying to be good women. Women that are trying to be, you know, housewives and trying to do things orderly. Right? I'm talking about high value women who really want men to lead still, want men to be the authority figures and know that they're emotional beings and they probably shouldn't be trusted with power or control. Because I've said this many, many years ago, one of my very first videos, I said women will constantly abuse power once they get it. And you've seen that. This is why most women don't want female bosses. Why? Because they abuse that power. Most women want male bosses, right? That is statistical. That's not coming from me. That is a fact, right? That's based on data. I'm just going to keep this one short, guys. I hope you see through what's going on out there. And I hope you're not getting caught up in all of this pettiness of, you know, well, look at what the left is doing, or, oh, look at what the right is doing. You know, this is why I stay in the middle. I stay as an independent, you know, is because I really don't trust either side. Yeah, sure, I lean more right these days because I'm older. I'm a free market capitalist. So yeah, my beliefs align more with the right. But still, there are a lot of people on that side, on the right, that talk like they should be on the left. But then they call themselves, you know, Republicans, for example. That's why we have that term rhino, right? That means Republican in name only. So there's a lot of folks on the right that I don't trust. And what's funny is, if you ever look at these speeches that Democrats gave, like in the 90s, like my parents were Clinton Democrats. They're not anymore, but back in the 90s they were. There was a clip of Bill Clinton that went viral where he was talking about immigration. He was using a lot of these terms that the right-wingers use today. Right? He was like, illegal aliens will not drain our resources. We will deport them. We will shamelessly and unapologetically, you know, kick them out of our country. I mean, whatever he was saying. I'm kind of just doing my own version of it. I don't remember it verbatim. I mean, if you listen to it now, he would be labeled an extreme right-winger. He sounds more extreme than Trump. We haven't shifted more right. We've all shifted more left over the last few decades. Everybody has shifted more left. And because of that, things have gotten haywire. And I just want to get back to the center. And in order to get back to the center, we are going to have to move a little more right, which is happening now, right? It's just a natural response to what's gone on the last decade and a half, or 2 decades now almost, where everybody started shifting left. And it just got a little too crazy. And now people are tired of it. And now people are starting to shift more right. As much as these liberals want to cry on TV, they are forgetting Trump won the popular vote. He won the Electoral College. He won all 7 swing states, and his approval numbers are soaring. I mean, there's a reason for that. He won more Hispanics than ever before, more blacks than ever before. He got a lot of people who were on the fence, who were independents, voted for him. A lot of former Democrats converted, and they voted for him. Family members of mine that hated his guts voted for him. They were like, enough is enough. I can't take this anymore. Things have just gotten too nuts. So now we're shifting a little bit more right, and hopefully we just get back to the center where we could just have some more common sense in society. Because right now, I mean, yeah, things are wild. I have hope for the future. So that's all I have to say for tonight's coaching video, guys. I hope you see through what's going on out there. As much as the mainstream news wants to feed you this narrative of like, oh my gosh, look, it's all crazy. Everyone can't stand this, but then you look at the comments of those videos, they're very polar opposite to the narrative that the mainstream is spinning. Right? No matter what the topic is. Lately, as of the making of this video, it's immigration, right? The ICE raids, the No Kings protests. Like, oh my gosh, everyone's against Trump. But then you look at the comments, that's not what the comments say. That's just my interpretation of all of this. All right, but as always, guys, drop your comments below, and I'll see you in my next coaching video. If you gain value out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on your way out. And if you want to support my work, get into 7 months to mastery below, and I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.